Everybody, you just tuned in to Real Labs on 104.1. That's right, Real Radio. It is Monday, but we got what you guys need. We are a nightcap of comedy. I am joined in virtual studio today with the man that helped start all this craziness. I'm talking about my partner in crime himself, Mr. Miguel Colon Jr. Miguel, how you feeling today?
I'm good, James. I think we're gonna have a solid Monday. We got a lot of entertainment and some super
We
cool
do.
guests today.
Yeah, we really do, man. I'm excited about today's show because I'm one of those guys that loves to big up Orlando, and we definitely have some people here that's going to help us do that. As always, it's Monday, so I'm joined in studio with Mr. Kaufman. That's right, Jeff Kaufman from Kaufman and Lynn. They've been serving and protecting and winning for the city of Orlando for over 20 years. Mr. Kaufman, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Can't wait for this show. I'm excited about it.
Very nice. And of course, don't forget to tune in to Under Oath, correct?
Yeah, we're killing it. I'm loving that.
You are.
I love when the numbers come in every week and the numbers are going up rather than going down. It's unlike the stock market, it's going in the other direction. I love it.
In the other direction, man. You like the housing market. There you go, man. Yeah. Nice. Now, the guests that I'm talking about that are on today, I'm very excited to have them on because I grew up watching the first incarnation of these guys. And I'm talking about the Orlando Predators are back. And we have the newest owners of the team on the show with us today. We have Nathan Starling and Mr. John Cheney. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here and welcome to Real Labs. How you guys feel today?
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
No, man, you guys are great.
Let's have a good show.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, first of all, I wanted to talk about the fact that unlike going to an NFL football game, you guys are a little bit different. You're hands-on. The fans get a different type of experience if you go to a Predators game. Now, normally there's a lot of security. You go to an NFL game, you can't get near the players. You can't get near the field. You're just taking photos, and that's about it. But you guys take a family approach to the actual games. And what I mean by that, after the game, you guys allow families to come onto the field, take pictures, and do all kinds of things that you couldn't do. It's a more immersive feel for the actual guests, right?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think also for $50 cash, you could call a play. Is that how it works?
We may charge you 100. We may charge
100 makes sense though. Makes sense. You know? I'm like, I got $600. I want to be the offensive coordinator for the day. The offensive coordinator is like, he sits down. You didn't even say yes. He's like, that's a deal. That's a deal.
I'm actually kind of thinking about it right now. No.
right. He's like, man,
hey, you know what's funny? Yeah. It's only $800 to call a play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then halfway through, they're like, this kid is good. This kid is good.
Yeah, they signed you up.
Yeah, they will. They definitely will. So I want to talk a little bit about that. The fact that you guys do things where people can actually can be around the people.
Well, real quick, James, too. Let's remind everybody what the Orlando Predators are, because there might be some people who just moved to the city and don't know. The Orlando Predators are a premier arena football league.
Absolutely.
And the thing about it is, if you've never been to arena football, I believe it's 50. Is the field 50 yards? Is it?
Yeah.
It's a shorter field, so passes. It's basically a quicker, faster game. But
it's intense.
Something to know, what people, I think what a lot of people dismiss and don't realize is there are only so many top tier athletes that can make it into the NFL.
Yes.
But when you go to something like arena football, you're still watching top tier athletes. There's just only so many positions available in the NFL for these players. That's why when you watch other football leagues, sometimes you're like, damn, these are really good players. They are. There's just something about them that didn't maybe get the draft. And some of these guys I know played some years in the NFL and just their time was up, because in the NFL, something that people may not know is it's a revolving door of younger. So you might still be an amazing athlete, but if there's an ability to pick up a younger athlete that has a similar skill set, they're always going to do that. So when you get to go to arena football, I think a big misconception people had is that they're watching something that's kind of like some sort of rec league, and that's far from what you're watching in arena football. You're watching top-tier athletes in a more intimate space. It's a closer game. The field is shorter, so plays are happening lightning, and it's a lot of fun. I used to, when Carlos Navarro from the Monsters used to announce some of the games, I used to come with him and we would have a blast hanging out. And it's fun and it's family oriented, but it's still an intense top tier athletic league.
Yeah, being that only 1% of all college athletes make it in the pros.
1%.
Only 1%. And then, and you know how many college athletes are playing football.
Absolutely.
Yeah, only 1%. So, yeah, we do have some really great talent out there. And to be so close to the field when some of these players get hit and get, catch the ball over and get hit over the wall into the stands, the fans love it, And
I want to hear an ACL snap. You know, I want to be like, oh.
Well, see, and we play Iron Man this year. We brought back Iron Man. So
Wait, what's Iron Man?
Iron Man,
both sides of the ball,
both ways. There's
Oh,
only two guys that can come off the field. You have, usually it's a quarterback and a top receiver, and then the same thing. Because back in the day, they said if you took the best NFL against the best team, that it would be a great game because they couldn't go both ways, offense and defense.
That is a lot of conditioning, by the way, because we played like that for a while in my high school, and that meant you didn't get off the field very often. So you had to be in shape to stay there that whole time. So my hat is off as a fat dude watching those guys do that, man. I couldn't last. I could 2 plays. I'm like, okay, I need a defibrillator now.
yeah. Defibrillator, and I'd be playing with my CPAP on. You know,
It definitely separates the men from the boys, and I tell you that.
with a name like Predators, you better separate the men from the boys.
Absolutely. Stop. Here he goes.
No, I had, when I was a sports agent, I had players who played in the arena. What are they called? The Dogs. I think it was something Dogs, but they were amazing. The level of heart that an AFL player has over an NFL player is night and day, because these guys, this is all they have. And there's a lot of these guys, they can't get to the NFL solely because, my height. You know, there's so many qualifications, like height, weight, the ability to jump high. It has nothing to do with heart, but sometimes these guys will never, ever get a shot. I had a guy who actually tore his hamstring playing both sides of the ball. We drove to Dallas to basically do a tryout, and he ran on that leg for 7 hours. Wow. And that's just a level of heart that I don't think really exists. And I represented some NFL players. Big difference. It was a big difference.
Love that.
So what's that new movie out about? What's it?
Kurt Warner? Yeah.
So if you watch that, that's the NAL is what gave him his chance. So he came in and he learned to throw the ball very quickly, and because nobody wanted him. And then you see his first year, he wins the Super Bowl and becomes MVP.
There you go.
I think if you ever watch HBO's Hard Knocks too, sometimes you'll see there's times when they're talking about an athlete and they literally just say, but does he have a star quality? And that's crazy to think that that's something that they're also weighing in, but they're like, can our franchise build on this person as a star? Because that's sort of the bureaucracy and the business side to the NFL too.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I wanted to bring up was the fact that how you guys interact with your fan base. Like if there is a ball thrown and it goes into the actual stands, that fan gets to keep that ball, right?
Absolutely. Yep. And then afterwards, we put tables out on the field. Every player, every dancer sits there in a row, and you bring your ball out and you get it signed. They buy shirts and get them signed. They got posters, they get them signed. So they get to interact with all the players, take pictures with the players. So it's a big family thing after the game.
I want to introduce an even better rule. I want you to let that person who catches the ball, run it. I want a little hop out, unpadded, little Davey. He's 11 years old, and then he just gets sacked by.
Well, I have to tell this story. I mean, there wasn't a dry eye in the stadium this weekend because we had Tyler Williams, a little boy, 14-year-old that has brain cancer, out of Eustis. His dream was to play football. So Nate got him a shirt. We got him a plaque. We put a helmet on him. We had him run on the field, sign a contract, dress him, bring him out on the field, and he was able to score a touchdown right in the middle of the game. And there wasn't a dry eye on the field. Anyway.
I like how you gave him the true experience too with the contract, because I can imagine Kaufman sitting there with him and be like, "No way, kid, you're worth way more. We'll walk. We'll go to another arena right now. Look at me, son. Look at me, son. Believe me, I only represent winners, and that's why I'm in your corner." And he's like, "Mr. Kaufman, I just want to play football." You're not going to play football. You're going to play yourself. If you sign this contract.
A bunch of crunch.
Yeah. They're like, "Jeff, the kid just wants to play." And he's like, "And I just want to make sure he's taken care of."
I get 20% of that bunch of crunch.
Yeah.
No,
sorry, kid, we're getting traded. You know.
No, that's really awesome.
That's one good thing about Orlando too, is we got the state-of-the-art arena. We got one of the best arenas in the league, hands down. I mean, everything is just top notch. So me and John try to do everything that we do between the pregame shows, between the fan experience. I mean, all the way through the end. I mean, we try to go top notch and just bring everything, 110%.
What's cool about our town too is I've been to arena football games when Nick Anderson went there to watch one, when Joey Fatone was there. So it's pretty cool that like local or not local, major celebrities who live in Orlando still see the joy and fun in watching the Predators play.
Yep, all the way back to 91, all the way back to 91. It's been a blast.
And we can't forget our Predator Prowler dancers. We have the best dance team in the league by far. They're the best, not even close.
Well, first off, John, you haven't seen my moves. Okay.
Hey, come on the field.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna
Nobody
get
should
it.
have to see that. Nobody should have to see that.
I will give you the next time when I come to a game, I'm coming out. I'm gonna dance with the dancers. I promise you. We'll put it on film too. Now, I don't want to pass up our opportunity for you guys to talk about the work you actually do in the community. Every week when you guys do a game, I think you support a local charity, do you not?
Yes, we do.
Cystic fibrosis, we do. We do like the Josh, just our soldiers helpers. We try to do a different event every game, whether it be cancer, Down syndrome. So we always try to figure out what we got coming up. We make contact with them, ask them if they have about 6 people that can walk around the stadium. We give them the tap to donate, and we ask them if they could help us and go around and ask. I mean, it's a platform, and we want to make use of the platform to help other organizations.
And I think that's really awesome that you guys do that, because when you invite people in and have a good time and you do the things on the field, you're also trying to take care of that community so that community comes back and supports you. So thank you guys on behalf of all those people that you help and support. Thank you guys for doing that, because you don't have to. And it's just a big deal that you guys take the time to do it. So thank you for doing it.
It's a blessing. And it's not just a one and done. It's a constant follow up with that family from here on out. They're part of the Predator organization. So, I mean, like I said, it's not a one and done. I mean, we are so blessed to have the community that we have and be able to reach out to Orlando like we have. I mean, Orlando has the best fans. You go to, no matter where you go, you can go to Columbus and you're going to see a bunch of Pred heads wearing their Pred head gear, like back in the old days. You're going to see these guys out there.
So, before it's awesome. And we're going to continue to do that, man. Me and Miguel are going to come out there and have a good time with you guys. And I definitely wanted to talk about the fact that you guys do giveaways. You make it fun when you go out there. I think recently you guys were giving away a 5-day trip and you were doing a 50-50 split. That's not a bad thing. You go out to a game, you get to see it, enjoy it, have a great time, and you might walk away with a free trip somewhere.
Yeah, so actually what they did was they gave the 50-50 and the trip. So you had money to spend on your 5-day trip.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a good time.
I believe, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Gotcha. Well, Miguel can't go back to Mexico. Court ordered. But
it's a thing called Lopez Law. I'll get into it later.
Come back to your tunnel.
So you think the balloon's not going to burst inside your stomach on the trip, and then next thing you know, you got to tell a flight attendant, we need to land right now. Right now.
Thank you guys so much. Before we go, I want to quickly give you guys an opportunity to say what your social media is so people can support and come out for these last home games that are about to happen.
You Nate? Okay.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Football.com.
Okay.
You go on there. Our away games, you can check it out on YouTube. Go on the nationalarenaleague.com website.
Nice.
You can click on what game you want to watch, and hopefully you want to watch Orlando Predators. You click on it, you get to see our away games. And on June 17th is our home game, which is Father's Day. And the next home game will be July 1st. And that game is Nova Rex will be playing a halftime show, and that's bike night. And so we're gonna have a bunch of motorcycles out there and pick the best bike.
Thank you guys so much. And people listening right now, please go out and support the Orlando Predators. They are back and they are kicking butt. Thank you guys so much, Nate and John, man. We appreciate everything you guys do. We'll see you later.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate
you.
Be
right back right here on Real Radio. Still listening to Real Laughs on 104.1 Real Radio. The voice you're hearing is Mr. James John. I'm joined in virtual studio, of course, with Mr. Jeff Kaufman and Miguel Colon Jr. Now, we have Mr. Kaufman here with us, so it's only right that we discuss the recent verdict that came down with the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp defamation case. It would seem that Johnny Depp won that case, Mr. Kaufman.
Yeah, he crushed it. It was an ass kicking, and
is that the
Yes, that's what we call it. It's the official term. It's Latin assa kickus. Yes, it's a major assa kickus.
Well, I'm glad
Maximus
you said it.
assa kickus.
Well,
Yes.
I'm glad you said that, because to a novice like myself, that's what it looked like. It looked like her lawyer was just some
Baby seals littered all over the place. That's
man.
When her lawyer objected to his own question, I'd watched enough Law and Order to be like, I think this isn't going well.
They have a lot of rules were broken. They were breaking a lot of rules. They were going hard and fast.
Now, legally, what does this mean? She was ordered to pay $50 million, correct?
No. She was ordered. It was 10 and 5. And
okay, 15.
In Virginia, punitive damages are limited, I believe, at $375 or something like that, or $350. So the $5 million in punitive damage was lowered to like 3 something, but she still owes the $10 million in actual damages.
Wow.
So
okay,
yeah, that's a beatdown. So 10.3, 10.4. She was given 2? I think they gave her 2 back. So yeah, there's an $8 million difference. So
now, my question is, when you lose a suit like this, a civil suit, do you have to pay the other person's attorney fees as well, or no?
Sometimes
okay.
it depends. It depends if the judge does it. In this case, I think she just gets the amount she gets. But I mean, you don't know. Now they're appealing. Of course. They're going to file an appeal because this case was all over the board. But what cut me up was this other attorney, the female attorney, not for Johnny Depp, for the other one, the angry one who got slapped by the guy from TMZ. That was my favorite. She's on a news broadcast. She goes, the jury, I believe the jury saw some of that internet stuff. And I'm laughing, going, you mean the internet stuff where you were getting your ass kicked?
Yeah.
All the internet stuff where they're showing the testimony that they sat for and just watched.
Yeah.
And
I thought the jury heard Amber Heard took a dookie on the bed and we're like, I don't know anymore.
What they were hearing was the audio tapes when she goes, "Oh, Johnny, who's gonna believe you?"
Yeah. That's what I heard. That's what got me.
People right here.
Yeah,
we do.
Go ahead.
I believe, based on what I saw, and I only saw highlights because I'm not in this case. It seemed like Amber Heard definitely. I feel like she lost this case. I feel like I watched her lose this case. But I will say this: this was one of those cases where both people came out as just gigantic d-bags to me. And like afterwards, I'm like, the case is the case. But I'm like, damn, Johnny Depp. Like, how many times do I have to hear Johnny Depp doing jars of cocaine? And it's like, it's a rough one because I think his whole suit was how she ruined his reputation and stuff like this. But as this trial goes on, I'm like, man, bro. You'll bounce back. It's Hollywood, but bro,
rock star. He's a rock star. He lives the rock star life. Except here's the problem: she gaslit him so many times.
Yeah,
she did. You're listening to her set him off. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. And if you're now, they had 5 men on that jury and 2 women, and these 5 men are going, God, I can't believe he didn't smack her. And there are situations where this happens when you talk about domestic violence, and you have this lunatic woman just hitting him, abusing him, and he doesn't hit her back.
No, he doesn't hit her back.
Yeah.
And here's what's dangerous for me, and I know this is not a popular opinion for us to say out loud. It's one thing for a man to beat a woman. That is horrible. We all can agree. That's something you should never do.
You should never beat your spouse or whoever you are. You shouldn't hit your spouse.
Period. But what do we do about the person that's like, I'm going to say you beat me just so I can get back at you, even though you didn't do it?
James, we were talking about this. We were talking about this in the car too.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, we were just saying in the car too. Every time somebody lies about domestic violence, they ruin they take away the chance of somebody who suffered domestic violence being believed. Because every time somebody lies, you just instantly go, I don't know. Remember the time that person lied?
You think that's the case? You think that? I hear that all the time. I've heard that for 25 years. And you know what? Nothing's ever changed. You can make that allegation. They take the kids immediately. You're in the news. You're out of a job. And I've had about 4 people consult with me in the last year on issues like that civilly. And one actually had to take this woman all the way to court and win, just like Johnny Depp did.
God bless.
And yes, the message is important. Don't beat your spouse, male or female. Don't beat anybody.
Absolutely. But you can,
but in the end, it doesn't change anything. She's never, money. He's not going to collect on this money. It's good. Where's she going to get paid? You know how it ends? I filed bankruptcy, Johnny. Blow it out your ass.
What do you think this does for him? I don't think it was about the money. I think it was more about,
he's getting paid.
I need to salvage my reputation if I'm going to continue working.
Can't work again. He can't. He lost every gig he had. And yes, he could do a bunch of independent films that nobody's going to watch, but he's never going to get that $10-20 million payday ever again.
You don't think he's going to come back?
Now he is. No, now he is.
I think he is.
I was about to say,
but until this trial, he had nothing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He had this trial for him, I think, was more about that. Like I'm thinking long term. I've got to get back to where I can make money.
Yeah.
And for her, I hate to say it, I don't think she's going to be career-wise punished. I think it'll blow over for her and she'll come back.
No.
You don't think so?
It's not.
You don't think so?
It's not. Here's what's going to happen. And I told you it's a big deal. I said swap out Johnny Depp for Steven Seagal. Swap those two people out. It's a completely different trial because you don't believe him. You don't have all these women, justice for Johnny, justice for Steven. You're not going to have that because
plus
in this situation,
I would many locks and wrist moves. He wouldn't have hit her.
I would say 90. Yeah, I'd say 90% of his supporters were women.
I believe that.
For yes. Now that's never going to happen in a domestic violence case, but because I love him and he's a teen heartthrob, he had that support that a normal man wouldn't have. Let's say it was a Hulk Hogan or something else. You might get that with a cute actor.
People wouldn't believe
Rob Lowe. One of those characters where he's such a heartthrob and compare or Ryan Reynolds, for example. Ryan Reynolds could get away with that, but you're not going to get that female support in a domestic violence case from the average person.
So you really think her career is going to be over? You think this is it?
I think it's over. I think they're going to figure out a way to pull her out of that movie. They're going to reshoot that movie because every time she shows up on the screen, you're going to hear booing from the audience. And if you're the director, if you're something else like that, and every time you see her face, people are going to snicker. And that's the whole goal of a movie, is to keep people in the movie. Now, if the minute she pops up, I'm out. I look at her and I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about the fake crying. I'm going to think about the fake accusations. You don't like her. And you can't have somebody in a movie that you hate.
That's true.
I think they're going to figure out a way to, they're going to do reshoots. They're going to do this. And I believe that's what's going to, or they're just going to figure out a way to digitally pull her out of the movie. It's probably cheaper to digitally pull her than to maybe reshoot the thing.
Gotcha. Now, from a legislation point, I'm trying to get that word out, and a lawful stance. It's been talked about, but nothing's ever happened, like you said, in the last 20-something years. There's definitely things that happen to you when you are found to be a domestic abuser, but nothing's ever been done to someone who falsely accuses someone, right? And I know certain people tried to make or lobby to say, hey, there should be some kind of...
You're never going to have it. You're never going to have it. Ever going to have it.
And why do you say that?
Because people are going to say it'll keep actual victims from coming forward. And you know what? There is a percent that might be true, but it's really a falsity. It's the message that they're afraid of. The message is that we don't even care. We don't care about the people who lie. The message is too important to punish people when they lie.
Yeah.
And and I've seen that happen. And I know people are going to be listening. They're going, Jeff, this isn't not normal. Ask any criminal defense attorney. And I was one for 5, 6, 7 years. I would say on average, anywhere between 30 and 50% of my cases were lies. Wow. And that is a huge number. Nothing's worse than when you have to go through 7 hours of testimony to finally get somebody lying. Now, this case, she only lost because they taped each other.
Yeah.
If there were no tapes,
no one would believe him.
It would have been a he said, she said, and it would have been over. But listening to her talking, go, oh, Johnny, you're a loser. You're a deadbeat. You're this. I mean, you hate her.
No one's going to believe you. That haunts me. No one's going to believe you.
I didn't slap. I didn't punch you. I hit you. So you're admitting
What's the difference?
Yeah. And everyone's looking, going, well, I'm not sure. No, I'm pretty sure. And nothing's worse than when you hear somebody's voice saying it and people are still not sure which direction they should go in. Because if you read, I've read some articles by the what's the Washington Post, which is the big Washington one. Is it the Post or the other one? What's the name of it?
No, Washington Post.
Washington Post, yeah.
You talking about Washington Journal?
Yeah, and then there's the New Yorker, and they said, "Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This case was bad for women's rights." I'm like, what about just regular people's rights?
Yeah, like human rights.
And that's when they talk about the message being more important than being innocent.
Gotcha.
And that's where things get really dicey. And I've seen the law. I've studied international law. Well, the reason we do this is because we believe that honesty and trust, and we have to protect these people, even if they're lying.
But you need due process, do you not?
You like to believe so, but that's not the way our justice system works. I had a rape case, and it was a 17-year-old African-American against a 15-year-old Indian girl. And I had to go through a full trial. And after 7 hours, she admitted she made it up. Now, for 6.5 hours, everybody, the clerks, the judge, everybody in the gallery hated me. You are a piece of crap. You're everything else like that.
Yeah.
And then I got her, and she admitted she made it all up. But it was just because she was jealous because he started dating somebody else.
Then she gets to walk.
Now the argument. Now there'll be people listening to me and go, "Well, Jeff, it's the message." It's not the message. When somebody's going to prison because somebody's jealous, what the hell are you talking about?
That's crazy talk. That's eerie. That makes.
Or you want the kid. Remember this one in kid cases all the time. They get the kid to claim child molestation in the divorce case.
Crazy.
And that happens all the time. Could you imagine your kid? I was watching this show the other day where they had this elderly black man. He was like 72. He hadn't talked to his kids in 40 years because of accusations that were made. And he was just sitting there going, and they did lie detectors, and the kids go, "Well, Mom wanted us to tell you this." And he wound up going to prison and everything else like that. And I mean, to lose everything over custody. Painful.
And just because, oh man, it's crazy, Jeff. Just absolutely. And there's nothing you can do as the guy getting accused.
No,
there's nothing you can do.
Right? Once you've been accused, it doesn't even matter if they drop it. They can look you up, and they can say, like the Tigger case I had where they said my client touched somebody in the park, 45-minute not guilty. He's hiding in the mountains in Arkansas somewhere.
Still,
because every time they pull up his name, it says
it comes up
charged with molestation, and people don't forgive that.
No, or keep reading to see that he didn't do
even
it.
Not guilty. He's found not guilty.
Yeah. Damn it, man. It's crazy, man. But I'm happy that he actually won his case, and thank God he had the foresight to record, because if he didn't, it could have been a completely different
verdict. She recorded dumb stuff of hers. I don't even know why.
Yeah.
I would if I had myself on the delete. I mean, this is an idiot human being to record herself, but she goes, "Oh, this will help out."
And didn't I hear that they're taking Johnny Depp out of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride?
I don't know.
I think I heard it last week. They were moving him. I hope not.
Put him all back. I think Disney's hurting enough with their stock price. They should put him in so more people can go to Disney.
Make it more realistic. Give him a jar of cocaine.
Oh my God. Well, on that note, people, we will be right back on Real Lives right here on Real Radio 104.1. Sit tight. Welcome back, everybody. You are still listening to Real Lives on Real Radio 104.1. I am James Yan, joined in virtual studio with Mr. Jeff Kaufman and Miguel Colon Jr. Now, guys, I got to tell you something, man. I was truly marveling at something that I saw happen this past weekend, man. I'm going to tell you that all heroes don't wear capes, man. I happened to be on a show, a comedy show, because that's what we do as comedians. And it was in this little place, this little bar show. It was a nice little place. We've been there before. It's in Lake Placid, Florida. Jeff, you ever been to Lake Placid?
Lake Placid? No. I heard that. Don't they do the Olympics there?
No. No.
Okay. Sir, that's the cool Lake Placid.
That's the cool Lake Placid, New York.
The one with the alligator.
Yeah, the alligator. Yeah, I was rooting for the alligator too. But no, this one's so small, they don't even have a Waffle House. And everywhere has a Waffle House.
See, you're dead to me. You don't own a Waffle House.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Exactly, Jeff.
Place is good. Now let me tell you what's going on,
man.
That's when you know they're commies, when they don't have a Waffle House. I agree with that. Well, here's what was going on, man. Me, Marcus Crespo, a comedian, Absar Siddiqui, and Mr. Miguel Colon Jr. were doing a bar show. I say bar show because it's at a bar. The people didn't necessarily know it was going to be a comedy show, so it's kind of a surprise to some people, I think. Miguel, that's accurate?
Yeah. And it was pretty packed.
And it was packed, that's right. But it was a drinking crowd, country crowd, ready to have a good time.
And a split bar.
Split bar, yeah. So you're in the middle of this place. To the left of you people, to the right of you people, and in front of you people. So you're kind of in it's like Coliseum style. It's funny, like, and let me tell you, battle was done just like the Coliseum. It was a rowdy crowd to begin with, but Absar, the first guy to go up, to his credit, he got him. He worked the room. He was working all the angles. They were listening to him. They were with him. Then my buddy got up, who always kills. My next comic buddy got up there, and he was doing good at first, but then it got a little rowdy because people started coming in. And they started coming in the front door where he was actually performing right next to that. And people are like saying, hey, like Norm on Cheers, like, hey, what are you guys doing? Whatnot. So people are starting to get rowdy. They're not really listening. So he's fighting. He's still getting some people in the room. He's still fighting. I'm sitting there going, oh, this is going to be horrible. Right.
I know I'm coming James. Up. I could see it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, man, in my face. Miguel looks at me and he goes, James, put me in, coach. He said, I can get him.
Because James was supposed to be next. I was going to close this one out. We were just like that. And Jeff, you know, like those loud rooms we perform where everybody's talking, 80% of this bar was talking.
Oh, my God.
80% of this bar was talking during the show.
And it was increasing as my buddy was up there performing. Louder. I'm like, oh, man. Yeah, I guess my face told the whole story.
I saw the look, and I knew that you were like, God damn.
Yeah, I knew it was going to have to happen. But Miguel goes, no. Put me in. I got this. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I'm ready to go. I am going to get these people. He goes, put me in. So Miguel went to the actual, I went up there, and when he introduced me, because I was supposed to be next, and I said, hey, man, I'm supposed to go on, but we're going to pull an audible real quick. My friend is ready to have a go at this audience. You're a little rowdy, but he's about to get you. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up for Miguel Colon Jr. Miguel got on stage, Jeff, and just proceeded the first 2 minutes to point specific people out in different points in the room all over and just make fun of them in a way that they didn't hate them. And people started slowly turning their attention away from their private conversations and just looking at Miguel and laughing their ass
every group
off.
That was talking.
Yes,
I was like, I'll just go after all the big leaders of the talking right now, and they'll shut up to listen to hear something about them.
And he proceeded to kill it for the next 30 minutes. Just bam, 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 bam. All cylinders were firing at the same time. This man was on. He could not do any wrong for that whole 30-minute set. When he got done, they were already standing because they're at the bar, but they gave him the most raucous, loudest applause I had heard in a very long time. So I had to bring that up because Miguel Colon Jr. single-handedly saved that night and saved my neck when I got to go up there and ride his wave, and we ended up having a great show. The show ended up being so good, the owner, as soon as we got done, says, we need to do this again. So I just want to salute Miguel Colon Jr. Killed that crowd, knew exactly what he needed to do. He was a sniper, and he got him.
And Jeff, as I left the after the night, when everybody was outside, all the people at the bar were outside.
Yeah,
I said, I out loud, I said, good night, you hillbilly F-bombs. You'll never see anything this good again. And they just smiled and clapped and waved.
They clapped at him. That right there.
I said, good night, good night, you
ever pushing a little too far? You ever wonder how he's like Miguel's like, there was a pause. He goes, uh-oh.
Yeah, Jeff, it cuts to us just driving in the cars. Bottles are being thrown at us and the sheriff's shooting at us.
Blues
like
Brothers
Footloose, people
in this town. But I will say this, Miguel, and you tell me your opinion on this. These country places where you assume these rednecks are going to be a certain kind of way, when I see comedy done there, they typically love urban or like black or Latin comedy. That's what I think.
I think you guys have a complete misunderstanding of country music, and here's where it goes off the rails. Like I went to Fort Lauderdale for a big country fest, and Nelly opens up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And 70,000 country people screaming, must be the money. And
there you go.
I looked over at everyone going, I don't care how people think our country sucks. They should take a picture of this one.
What it is, Jeff, I'm going to tell you this.
One moment.
I feel it's generational. What happens is when you're around our age, you grew up listening to rap, you grew up listening to pop music, it was part of your life. So I think that people have this misconception that country fans are the ones from the Blues Brothers, throwing bottles at the cage, when country music is pop music. You know, country music's pop music. It's played a lot of the country, especially when you get into like the 90s and the 2000s, starts getting played on mainstream pop stations and stuff. So I think a lot of times there are hardcore country fans, but they're also pop music fans. And it's almost like when you're a Nelly fan, it doesn't mean you only want to hear hardcore rap because it's Nelly. Nelly's pop. You also want to hear some pop.
Mm-hmm. I actually think, believe it or not, I'm gonna say this. I think a minority has a better chance in that situation than a white guy.
Yes, absolutely.
I think the white guy shuts out. Somebody's going to go, shut up, man. Get your ass off stage. I'm funny.
Yeah.
But Miguel gets up there and crushes it. And I think they're more willing to go, oh, you know,
because
when
he's
you
unafraid.
think of stand-up comedy, it's a different world now. I think about maybe 20 years ago, you know, let's say the average comedian, let's say it might have been 50% Anglo. I think right now, comedy is made up because I'm watching all these shows online. Every time I see them, I would say 75% is minority for comedy. It's not a bunch of Jewish guys like it used to be. It's not like, oh, Seinfeld and all the Jews get on stage. Even when you look at the improv and you're looking at different shows.
Oh, the improv's all black and Latino acts. If you look at the roster.
And there's a reason for that. And I think it's because we live in a world that is a lot more accepting. We live in a world where people are starting to dump their stuff. Yes, there's always going to be hate among somebody at the bottom because they need somebody to hate. And that's just the way that works. White, black, red, brown, purple, yellow. If your life sucks, you're going to blame it on somebody. Yeah. And that's the way it works. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that.
You know, and then you see this weird, the Karen videos are killing me lately.
I love them.
They're just, you wonder if these women have just lost their mind over the better part of the last 3 years. I don't remember this being a big deal. In the last 3 years, I think every white woman, I'd say right about at 50, I think menopause automatically should be, you're getting your Karen card. The minute you go into menopause, you're getting your Karen card.
That's actually funny.
And I think this is where the guy Karens come in, is when you give a dude just a little bit of responsibility. It's like, hey man, make sure everybody parks their car in the designated space. And he's like, so I'm the guardian of the parking lot. It's like, no, bro, just, you know, just make sure everybody parks within the lines. He's like, I will guard this with my life. It's like, just make sure they're in the lines, buddy. That's it.
That's all we need. Yeah. But he takes it to the next level.
I'm the head of the HOA. I'm in charge, you know?
Yeah. That's what ruined Ken Miller. I'm like, the power. I tell him all the time, no one man deserves all this power. He's like, they don't respect me, B. You'll learn.
I had to burn this house down, B.
Yeah, look at the grass. It's not Zoysia.
Now they get it. I know that we got fans in the villages, right? Some people in the village. We got one guy, right? I think we got one. And
he might not be up right now. He listens to us.
Get more calls from guys from the villages who are so upset over what's going on. Oh, you're not going to believe what's happening. I was driving my bicycle, and you're going, dude, really? This is not a problem. This is I've got nothing better to do problem. Yeah. This is, I have nothing in my life. I have no job. I have nothing going on.
I have nothing to do.
And you decide that this is the most important thing in the world for you now because you got nothing else.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's
absolutely right.
I worried about that with my father for the longest when he retired, though, because I was like, my father, I was like, I gotta find him something. And it turns out the thing I found for him was Netflix and gardening. He has those things going and he's fine. He does his yard and he watches Netflix. But I was so worried because I easily, my father's a retired master gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps, and sometimes he's super chill, and then sometimes I'm like, this isn't our problem. Like this isn't a big problem. And he would do it. He was the rabble rouser at his job all the time when he worked for the county.
Was he really?
He would tell me, be like, oh, got into it again with so and so, and I'm like, what's going on, Pop? And he's like, we need an SOP to follow. So there's a stand. I'm like, okay, what happened? Was this like a big environmental thing? And then I would find out it was something like office related, and I'm like, I get it, bro. You want this to be the Marine Corps again. You want this to be this thing. And so I would laugh. But I always worried that my father was going to be the guy who volunteered at Disney to like park cars with the safari hat on. And then I'd show up to a place and he'd be like doing a citizen's arrest. I'm like, what is going on, Pop? And he's like, he's on the line and he won't listen. He's like, hold on, son. Yeah, shots fired. I need a bus. Don't think this guy's gonna make it. I'm like, what happened? What happened?
Delta 5. I need it. Make it rain. What?
I got 2 tangos parking in the parking lot on the white line. What's the ROE? What? But I find that too, and Jeff, I think too. I feel like Karens, and this is just a huge blanket statement. But if you're a male Karen or a female Karen, I find Karens are always in the like middle class area. Oh, yeah. Like I rarely see and I don't know if it doesn't exist, but I rarely see a super rich Karen, and I rarely see a poor Karen. I only see like a middle class Karen, like the you know, and maybe middle class. I'm always thinking anywhere from firefighter. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. She's like, excuse me, I blah blah blah, and then I always, luckily, man, I rarely see a Karen video that exists where it's not the Karen's total fault. Because every now and then I do watch a video and I'm like, hey, buddy, why did you say that to that person? Even though you know they're wrong. But Karen videos are usually like some dude or some woman getting in somebody's face, and they're like, I saw one that was great, guys. They got in the the Grubhub guy's face because they have a gate outside of their building. And he came in and somebody let him in. They're like, oh, yeah, come on in, Grubhub. You know, somebody was just like, come on in. Yeah. And the woman was like, how did you get in here? And it was her and her husband. And her husband was like, this unlawful for you to come in here. And he's like, hey, lady, they let me in the gate. I just want to deliver your food. And the husband's like, you stay there. We're calling security. And then the woman's like, and give us our food. And I'm like, what are you calling security? And she was on the phone with security. She's like, we have a trespasser here and he won't give us our food. And I'm like, wait a second. If they have your food, I doubt they're a trespasser.
What, ma'am?
Yeah. Karen dudes and Karens, man.
It's
they're
the
just
world
horrible.
we live in, man. And this is what happens. And it happened because of social media, because the point is everyone was told their voice matters. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. We don't need to hear everything you need to say.
Yeah. Everyone has an opinion, but that opinion doesn't necessarily matter. My opinion on neuroscience doesn't matter because I don't have enough information on it.
Yeah. Hey guys,
you want to talk Silver Surfer though? Hit me up.
Oh no, hear me up. Guys, we're about to be
I forgot to tell you guys. Okay.
What's up?
Okay.
Big thing. Jurassic Park, man.
Jurassic Park, guys.
I've got tickets, man. Come to
hit them up. Tell them where they can hit you up.
Contest at kaufmanlin.com.
Come on out, guys. Jeff rents out the theaters. It's going to be an awesome experience for you to watch Jurassic Park with nothing but hundreds of your closest friends.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. On behalf of myself, James John, Mr. Jeff Kaufman, and of course, Miguel Colon Jr., thank you guys for tuning in to Real Last. We will see you tomorrow.
Peace.